What's up, guys? Just at the lake today, and I picked up this new Harbor Freight 100-watt folding solar panel. So I'm gonna open that up and see what it's all about. I'm gonna plug it in to the Jackery 290. All right, so it's obviously claiming 100 watts. It's monocrystalline. It's 2x50, just like a Renogy folding suitcase solar panels I have. Blah blah. Built-in stand, obviously, and interestingly, they actually thinking ahead here at Harbor Freight for once. I don't know. SAE to 8mm cable, which is exactly what we need for this Jackery's input. So let's see how they did. I haven't even opened this yet. Oh, nice bags. All right, so you can see it's got the handle sticking out of the case here, so that's pretty cool. Zippers are a good size. Obviously, I like the orange. Obviously, this is Thunderbolt branded, which is Harbor Freight stuff, but obviously it matches the Jackery. I don't know if that was some collaborative effort there or what's going on. All right, so let's get this out. All right, so this has like the most minimal amount of padding. It's really just a cover, I'm not gonna lie. The Renogy panel that I have is came with a case, and it's much more rigid. So, but this isn't bulky, so that's nice. If you're like gonna carry it in your car, like throw it in your small car or something, or inside your van or what have you, that might work fine. I wouldn't like leave this to the elements though, for sure. Just to start off with that. All right, here we go. Came with a manual, which hopefully we don't need. All right, so let's see. That's pretty tight. These are little, I'm not gonna lie, but probably sufficient. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna open this up. All right, so we have the two junction boxes that mate these two 50-watt panels together, and the cable is an SAE, which is standard that Harbor Freight has used in most of their solar stuff. And then here's a little adapter guy, which is awesome that they thought ahead to include this, because we need that for the Jackeries. All right, so I'm gonna connect this back together. All right, so the first thing I noticed is how rad these legs actually are. They're very sturdy. Look at this. These things are thick. That is super cool. And no need to tighten anything. The dog is looking for shade. No need to tighten anything. Nothing's gonna come loose. No wing nuts. Check this out. Just like literally one motion. I mean, wow, this is simple. I love how these legs are H-shaped and very sturdy. They're very rigid. That's super cool. And they're not thick. They're just super easy to raise and lower. Look at that. Very nice. All right, cool. Let's get these guys up. And this one-handed, always a good test. Say, how easy is it to manage? Yeah, look at that. All right, let's flip these around, get them in the sun. All right, so like I said, comes with the 8mm jack. This thing I happen to know is low. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, it's at 0. No, it's at 15%. Okay, cool. So we'll see it get some good charge. Here we go, inputs. There it is, charging up. Already up to 57 watts, 58 watts, 59 watts, 62, 63. And that's where it's going to top out, because that's where the, now a cloud just went over. The internal charge controller on the Jackery is going to limit it to 60 watts or thereabout. So I've seen it go up to like 62. And cool thing is, like, okay, it's a 100-watt panel on it. This only takes 60 watts. But look at, in the clouds, it's still pulling 27 watts, which is a lot better than less. Alright, even in the partial clouds, you can see they're pulling 33 watts. About to go up because the sun's coming out. Already got a percentage. going on there. All right, just so you understand our situation with the sunlight and the UV status, it is May, early May, and we're in Virginia right now, so not too far south and definitely not in the middle of summer. So it's a good place to test this stuff, because for somewhere like Southern California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, places like that, everything looks like it operates very, very efficiently, and batteries get topped off real quick. Solar panels look like they're putting out their full capacity all the time, and you never really have any trouble. But this is a bit different situation, so if it works good here, it's going to work great other places. All right, kids are back from paddle boarding, some of them. All right, sun is out, so here we go. Looking at over 60 watts right now. So this thing's gonna start cranking. I think it's limiting out at 65 on the Jackery. Yep, there you can see that, 65. Oh, sun behind the cloud. You can see how quick it changes when the clouds make such a difference. It's crazy, crazy. All right, so the sunshine is back. It goes immediately up to 65 watts on the Jackery whenever it comes out, and it dives back down when the cloud comes. So even at 4 p.m. or thereabout in springtime, this thing easily puts out the max that this Jackery 290 can handle, that's for sure. It's generally limiting out. All right, those clouds are passing. Getting that full wattage again, topping out. All right, so we got clouded out today. It's 5 p.m. now, so it's been about an hour and a half. This thing picked up about 18% from when we started, or more. I have to go back and look. Still pulling 18 watts. I don't even know where it's from. I don't even see the sun, so I guess that's pretty good, actually. All right, so putting this away couldn't be much simpler. 1, 2, with this. Here's the latches that I'm not super stoked on, but looks like they will do the job. And 30 seconds, fold it up, we'll get it in the bag. I just need my other hand. Maybe the dog will help me. All right, so there you have it. Simple. The panel fits great in the bag. It's not a struggle to get it on at all. There's the handle. Oh, ta-da! There you have it. First look at the Thunderbolt Solar folding suitcase, briefcase panel. All right, so the sun has come back out. Set this back up. I'm not gonna stay here long with this, but I'm gonna show you that even after 6 p.m. still pulling in over the max wattage of the Jackery 290. So this thing's pretty efficient even in the lower light. You can see the sun's about to go behind the trees there. So it's 6:35 p.m. in May, and no problem pulling in all the wattage we need or can handle and this particular power station. Definitely doing its job. All right, so back home, but got some sunshine on the panel, right back up to 65 watts, and it's not even really, it's hazy at best. Clouds are coming and going, but the reality is this panel, the Thunderbolt suitcase, is performing well. Here's a comparison of 3 different panels. You can see laid out, they're all pretty similar size. This is a Renogy briefcase panel that I've used all over for years. This guy I've had for a year. Also Harbor Freight Thunderbolt, but non-folding. So all of these are 100 watt panels, at least in name. So this one folds up, doesn't fold. Obviously the new Thunderbolt folds. So I just wanted to give you a little side-by-side comparison. The three of these, I'll tell you, like I was saying, these clips on the Renogy are bigger and more heavy duty, and they're riveted, not screwed in. Alright, same here, this guy's riveted. This handle has been very heavy duty over the years. So the one thing that I'm not super fond of on this Renogy panel is the way the legs, you have to pull them out, you have to loosen them, fold them. I mean, it's not so bad, you know, first world problems, but you gotta tighten them. You can't just pull them out super easy like the non-folding Harbor Freight Thunderbolt. These are just as basic as could be. I kind of like them, honestly. But you have to do each one individually. Same with this. You have to do each leg individually. This new Harbor Freight panel has a different design for the legs. You can see it's still one leg per side, if you will, except they have 4 feet. Each of these eight shapes will kind of move on their own. So put them in real easy that way. So you can say there's a more stable design because it has 4 points of contact. And these are just super easy to pull out. This one's super easy as well, but it's kind of a different layout there. Whereas you could probably argue that this is more secure on the Renogy because you actually tighten them down with the little wing nut guys there. So just trade-offs. These legs on the Renogy are thicker than these much lighter weight legs on the non-folding Thunderbolt. And then these guys are probably the most sturdy of them all. Not only do you have 4 points of contact like I was showing you, they're actually like kind of right angle framed pieces of metal. Pretty legit feeling, I gotta say. So impressed with that. The hardware is screwed in, not riveted. Like I said, this stuff's riveted on the Renogy panel. Even on this Harbor Freight guy here, the 100-watt non-folding, the legs are riveted. This Harbor Freight panel has less moving parts, just the 2 legs. I mean, that's really it. So it has a handle, latches, obviously because it's gonna fold. Same with the Renogy. This Renogy panel is actually available with a no charge controller option. I have the charge controller, but you can get the exact same setup with just MC4 connectors on the back end. So you're gonna end up needing an adapter cable if you have a power station, just like you need for this guy, because it's just an SAE connector. So this one would come with MC4s. The OG Harbor Freight one has just a SAE, whereas the new Harbor Freight folding panel has its own adapter ready to go straight into the power station. So I love that they thought of that and did that, because it saves people, you know, a trip to Amazon on the internet to get a adapter, which has tended to be hard to find based on comments on my other video that I made about the adapter that you need for this panel. So, alright, so for my non-folding Harbor Freight Thunderbolt panel, I had to get this adapter to go into the Jackery. And that's the same for many other power stations. Some power stations have Anderson connectors, so you're still going to need an adapter. But it was simple, but just think it's another expense. It's another 12, 15 bucks. So depending on the prices you can get these, you know, what's the best option for you? If you're absolute bargain basement price point, then you're going to want this guy. Obviously you lose the folding It doesn't come with a case. I got this on the Inside Track Club at Harbor Freight for $150. So, and it came with the adapter. So if you paid full price for this, you know, at the extreme, right now it's like $120 list, you know, if it's not on sale and you don't have a coupon. So then you're only, plus you got to get the adapter. So say that's another 10, 12 bucks. There's 120, 130-ish. I paid $150 for this and got a case, and it folds. So, you know, if you are going to use it with the legs, now if you're just going to mount it, obviously this is your better option from Harbor Freight. Now there's a lot of options online, of course. The Renogy guy is probably a bit more heavy duty. I would say this is the heaviest duty of the three. And my use of it, I've got a moment of good sun here. This guy's cranking. I just want to compare it to this other Harbor Freight one in the same light. So I'm gonna plug that in. All right, so we're gonna swap these really quick from the folding panel to the not folding panel. Here we go. All right, so in the same light, they're pushing the same amounts of watts. You know, when the clouds are parted, there you go, 67, 68 watts. So the Jackery is limiting both of these. It has to cut it off. All right, as you can see, the Renogy is a bit bigger than that one. These two, I think, are about the same open, at least at eye level observation. If you're looking for the best value, obviously that depends on your priorities. So that one's the cheapest. This one's the next up. If you're looking at this thing at full price, which I believe is $180 or even $190 at Harbor Freight, and you can't get it on sale and you don't have Inside Track Club or something, then that makes this one, which I believe is about $200, just over $205 on Amazon with no charge controller. So just the bare panel in the same layout, you know, just with the bare cable. You know, that's gonna set you back a little more because you're gonna need an adapter cable for either of these two to get into your power station. And then this one actually comes with a 8mm barrel adapter for a power station, so that's super sweet. That's gonna make you think a little harder. This one's heavier for sure. And all right, here you can see the two different cases. The Renogy one is like rigid and foamy, and I've left it out in the sun and rain and all kinds of things all over the country, and I've never had an issue with it. It still zips, no problem. It's kind of rigid. You can see it holds its shape. Let's see. Can you see that it holds its shape? Yeah, it holds. It's like kind of a molded. So even though it's soft, it's still semi-rigid. Whereas this is like a cheap man bag, cheap backpack guy. I don't know what you call it. Anyway. All right, so as you can see, these are basically the same size in their cases. This Renogy is noticeably heavier when you pick it up. Thicker hardware, thicker frame. So, something to think about for your situation. The more desirable option may be different than mine. All right, so a couple options. If you're looking for the absolute cheapest, you want that guy. If you want the cheapest folding option, you want that guy. If you want a more heavy duty option, you probably want this guy. If you don't have any spatial concerns, this guy will work good. This one is lighter, so if you're like just car camping, you don't want something as heavy, or it's going to be like in your space when you're sleeping or something, probably this one is the best option. Anyway, hopefully that is helpful, and if there's anything that I didn't cover or you have a question about, just hit me up in the comments. All these work great, I have to say. That's the positive thing. They all get those watts from the sunlight and boom, charging your stuff. All right, so all in all, I would say this Harbor Freight Thunderbolt solar folding briefcase panel is great value. I mean, it's gonna work, no problem with the power stations, or if you want to plug it into a charge controller for an external battery. I would definitely recommend this over the folding Jackery style panels. I would not do that. I had one for a bit that I was trying out with this guy. I used it and it just underperformed in my experience, so I sent that thing back. So this thing's not the cheapest and it's not the best made per se, but it definitely performs. So depending on your situation, this might be great, might not be great. All good. All right, hope that helps.